What's going on, everybody? It's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. Here with the WNBA 3-game Wednesday night slate, 10K to first. We got to take advantage of these bigger prize pools while we still got them. But this slate looks pretty good. Let's look back at my lineup from tonight before we start getting into this one, though. I'm currently cashing. We'll see how it ends up. I don't have very high hopes unless Rickea Jackson can carry me to a min cash. I played Alana Smith. Once we got the news that Dorka was out, I ended up pivoting. I was already on Misha Hines-Allen, but I ended up pivoting to Alana Smith. She did not play enough minutes. She was good when she was out there. For some reason, she played the whole first quarter and then not a second in the second quarter. I don't know. And then Ryan Howard played the first 13 minutes and then sat for a long period in the second quarter. She shot 5 of 19. Sabrina Ionescu, mentioned her in the stream. Me and Zoe were talking about how high we were on her. She had a great game, 11 assists. Benaj Delaney was solid for her price point. She paid that off. And Misha Hines-Allen, going to be a must, going to be needed in the optimal for sure. But really just going to hinge on what Rickea Jackson does, if I cash or not. Let's look at the odds for these 3 games, and then we'll go break it down team by team. Aces at the Fever. Aces are 3.5-point favorites. Over under 177. Mystics at the Sky. Sky are 2-point favorites. Over under 161. Storm at the Spark. Storm are 10-point favorites. Over under 163.5. Obviously, Sparks are playing a back-to-back. Their rotations are a myth anyway, so who knows what they're going to do. So could be even more chaos on a back-to-back. Then we got Washington on this slate as well. So 2 of the worst teams to try and predict what they're going to do minutes-wise. But let's start with the game that everyone and their mother is going to be on. By far the best game on this slate. Starting on the Aces side, A'ja Wilson is back. She is not on the injury report. Fully expect that game. Obviously, she was in a boot. That's not ideal. But I think they just mostly used it for rest. Got her 5 full days of rest. She needed it. She's been on a grind. I'm expecting her to come back and just absolutely smash. So 12.3K. Obviously, don't need to give anyone any reason to play A'ja Wilson. If you have the salary, she is always the best point per dollar play on the slate, no matter what her price tag is. And that changes nothing here. She's still the best point per dollar play on the slate. Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young. Plum 9.4, Jackie 9K. I can't play Plum right now. She had a good game here against New York. She shot 7 of 17, was good at getting the peripheral stats. I just don't trust her like I have in years past. Jackie Young, she burned me really bad this last game. She's just not being her normal aggressive self on the offensive end. It's kind of puzzling. She's just been really passive. So she obviously has big upside. This is one of the best matchups in the WNBA. Indiana is one of the worst defenses in the WNBA. Had it not been for Dallas just being historically the worst defense ever, we would be talking about how bad this Indiana defense is. So there is merit to playing Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young absolutely in tournaments. Chelsea Gray, 8,300. I'm probably not getting there at that price point, even though she's had good games these past 3. And like this last game, she shot 1 of 7. I think she's a contrarian play. Tiffany Hayes, 7,200. She's fine. I just worry about the minutes coming off the bench. I think that's getting to be a little bit steep of a price. Same thing with Alicia Clark. We need to see the starting lineup. If they start Gus again, I may be off the Gus bus. She's just been really bad. Not even been able to pay off the 4K price tags. Now she's priced up to 5,400. So I don't know. I'm probably going to take a wait and see on the 5th starter. They've been rotating. Everyone else I'm out on. On the Indiana side, Caitlin Clark at the top, 13K. Priced higher than A'ja Wilson. If you want to play her, I have no issues with it. I personally just cannot pay more salary for Caitlin Clark than A'ja Wilson. I just can't. Whatever you want to say, like Caitlin Clark's a great tournament play because she's going to be lower owned. Obviously makes her massive leverage off of A'ja, especially at that price. Aaliyah Boston, 11.8K. I think she's a great tournament play. Kelsey Mitchell, 9,900. The price is just ridiculous for her. She's been average the past 3 games and scored over 20 points in the last 2. She just has very little peripheral upside. So if she doesn't just nuke shooting the ball, she's not going to get there. I will never, ever, ever pay over 9K for Kelsey Mitchell. If you want to, if you think she scores 30 real-life points and picks up 7 peripheral stats, she's going to pay that price tag off. More times than not, she just will not come close to 3x in that salary. Melissa Smith, 7,900. Price is going back up a little bit as the minutes go down. I'm out. I don't want to go there. Lexi Hull, price continues to rise. She played 40 of a possible 45 minutes here against Atlanta last time out. Needs to hit her threes. That's where all of her offensive upside is going to come from. But she's a good defender, can get you some peripheral stats. The price is getting pretty high, though. Fagbenle, 5,900. She's fine. Played 28 minutes. They have been going to her over Melissa Smith, so don't mind going there. At 5,900, I think that's about the highest that I'd be willing to go for her because her minutes aren't, like, she's not guaranteed 20-plus minutes. It's 15 to 18 more than likely, with the potential to play a little bit more if Melissa Smith is just playing awful. Everyone else, I don't really want to touch. On the Washington side, a lot of players that it's really tough to roster. Obviously, you've got Emily Inksler, 8,500. I'm not paying that price tag for her. Obviously, this last game, she played 17 minutes. Shakira Austin was active and played 10 minutes and pulled minutes from her and Sika Kone. So I'm expecting her right around 20 minutes, but 8,500 is a big price tag to pay off. Ariel Atkins, 8,100, played 26 minutes. I think she's the safest of all the starters to play like high 20s minutes, assuming that she doesn't get hurt. I think she's a fine play at 8,100. Brittany Sykes, all the way down to 7,700. She's played 23 minutes in back-to-back games. I think she makes for a solid tournament play just due to her price, and she's a good fantasy point per minute player. Stephanie Dolson, 7,600. I'm out on. Minutes just aren't the best. Like 25 in the last 2. If you think that continues, you can go there. I just don't want to go there at that current price point. Leah Edwards, 6,900. I would much rather play her over Dolson for the $700 discount. I'm not crazy about either, but if you're wanting to play one, I would lean the cheaper play in Edwards. Van Loo, 6,400. Carly Samuelson, 6,200. SWK, 5,600. All tournament plays, all going to play 15 to 20 minutes off the bench. None of them that great of a fantasy point per minute player, though, so just keep that in mind. Sika Kone, minutes were gone this last game, but that was with Shakira Austin back. Would expect her to play 12 to 15 minutes. At 5,100, though, that price is pretty steep. Melbourne and Sutton, I do not have any interest in. On the Chicago side, as we know, Angel Reese is out for the rest of the year. Kennedy Carter priced all the way up to 10.7K. Only took 17 shots, still put up 40 fantasy points in 32 minutes. She's going to have to play every minute that she can handle. They can't afford to really lose any games if they want to get the 8 seed in the playoffs. Camila Cardoso, 10.1K. The shot attempts did not go up, which is a little bit concerning. Minutes are always going to be there. They're extremely thin on bigs, but she's just going to stuff the stat sheet. And if you ever catch a game where she puts up 20 real-life points, she may have a 50 burger in her. Like, she really might. Like, she got close here against the Sparks, 44.5. Last time they played the Aces, she put up 37. If she has a good scoring game, she could put up a big, big number. I like her for tournaments. Oni Enwer, 7,100. She's fine. She's just extremely scoring dependent. Not a player that I really ever go out of my way to play. Izzy Harrison, though, is someone I will go absolutely as far out of my way as I need to play her. She's 7K, still probably 2K too cheap. She played 33 minutes last time out against Dallas, put up 18 shots. She is extremely aggressive on the offensive end, a good scorer as well. And what does Chicago need? They need offensive players and scorers. So she fits the mold for both of them. She's a good rebounder, can get you some stocks, but mostly will be out there for her scoring, and she can fill it up. So she's an absolute lock for me at 7K. Lindsey Allen, 6,600. She's fine. Only saw 21 minutes. Was really, really bad. But her minutes are pretty secure. And especially, we do have news. DeShields is out. So that would mean probably safer minutes for Wnba, Allen. You're probably going to see quite a bit of Dana Evans off the bench. Even though she was a DNP in this middle game between the Aces and Dallas. For reasons, I don't know, a healthy scratch. Rachel Banham, 4,600. Should play mid-teens minutes, needs to hit her shots to hit value. I do want to mention Bree Turner down here at 3,800. She played 11 minutes last time out. She is not a good fantasy point per minute player. Obviously, with her averages of 0.7 points per game, she's not a good offensive player whatsoever. If she scores, it's going to be on a putback, offensive board and a putback. So I think for 3,800, there's if you're trying to jam a lot of studs in, I think you can go here. It's really ugly. You have to hold your nose, but you want to jam the studs in. That's the player to do it. Last game of the night, Seattle at the Sparks. Talk about a gross game. This is it. The Storm, I don't know what's going on. They limited the minutes on NECA last game. She only played 23 minutes. They limited the minutes on Ezzy, and she was playing very well. 22 minutes, 28 fantasy points. They limited the minutes on Gabby Williams, mostly because Jordan Horston absolutely smashed in 19 minutes. Shot 7 of 8. That'll do it. Jewel Lloyd, 22 minutes. She got her minutes limited as well. The only one that didn't, actually, Skylar Diggins-Smith got her minutes limited as well. I thought she was the only one that didn't, but all the starters had their minutes limited into the 20s. I don't expect that to continue. I'm expecting the starters to play full run, but it is something we need to keep an eye on. Obviously, if the starters are going to be limited, Mercedes Russell would look good. Sammy Whitcomb would look good. I think even Jordan Horston, even though 6,500 that's pretty overpriced. But if the starters are going to play normal run, it's really just the starting five, and then you can take shots on like Russell and Whitcomb. My favorite play on this team is Skylar Diggins-Smith. She's just playing extremely well right now. Super efficient scorer, stuff in the stat sheet. And then on the Sparks, not a lot to like over here. Wnba, if you think she's going to play mid-30s minutes, I think she's a fine play at sub-10K. Rakia Jackson over 9K. We need to see what her minutes look like tonight and see where she ends up. But if she's playing big minutes, I think even at 9,200 she's in play. Odyssey Sims at 8K, I'm out on. Azura Stevens, 7,500. I think this is a spot where you can play Big Z. If the minutes are going to be there, that's the biggest worry. She could play 15 minutes, and it wouldn't surprise me. She could play 30 minutes, and it wouldn't surprise me. Erin McDonald, we don't know if she's in or out. This team is just a slog to figure out who's playing and who's not. Lee Yuru, 6K, bit overpriced, but there's not a lot of good value, so I think she's in play. Burrell, if she continues to start, is pretty score independent, but she can still get there. Kia Nurse, 4,700. Crystal Dangerfield, 4,100. I think both of them are in play as cheap plays for value, but you're not going to feel very good playing either of them. But that's going to do it for me, guys. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like on the channel. Really helps out the channel grow. Good luck to everybody, and we'll see you in the stream tomorrow.